A very good afternoon, one and all. Today, let's move on with warehousing part 1. So, with the last class, calibration and validation gets over. Now, we are moving on to warehousing part 1. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about good warehousing practices. What is warehousing? Storage of materials and how we are managing it. So, we are going to discuss about good warehousing practices. It is otherwise called good storage practices. Warehousing is nothing but storage. So, GWP and GSP. It is called either as GWP or as GSP, good warehousing practice and good storage practice. In that, how we are maintaining our materials and how we are managing according to WHO and as per good manufacturing practices, we'll discuss about this GWP. Let's see about what are GWP or GSP parameters. There are 11 number of parameters. They are premises, security, temperature and humidity control, equipment, personnel, sanitation, receipt of incoming goods, assembling orders and issuing goods, packing for transportation, transport, then records. So what are the parameters? We'll cover good warehousing practices, premises. What are the facilities? Premises. Then security for that premises. And then temperature and humidity control of the premises and the warehousing environment. Then equipment. Equipment facilities inside the premises. Then personnel who work on that. Then sanitation of premises and personnel. Then receipt of incoming goods, receiving incoming goods and storing it. Then assembling orders and issuing goods. The next part is assembling orders and issuing goods. Then packing for transportation. Then transport. Then records of all this. So these are the good warehousing practices, parameters what we need to follow as per WHO. Let's move on to the first part, that is premises, where premises should be of suitable size and construction to facilitate cleaning, maintenance and orderly segregated storage. Storage areas must be designed to provide adequate lighting, ventilation, temperature, sanitation, humidity, space, equipment and security conditions. Medicinal products should be stored separate from other goods to avoid the risk of cross-contamination. Incoming goods should be physically or electronically separated from goods awaiting distribution until approved by the responsible person. A segregated area must be provided for the holding and storage of returned and rejected goods prior to a decision on further action. A secure segregated area must be provided for the storage of controlled drugs. A separate designed area should be provided for the assembly of customer orders. So these are all the different areas of premises. It should be of suitable size and construction. The storage area must cover the following things: lighting, ventilation, temperature, sanitation, humidity, space, equipment and security conditions. Then medicinal products should be stored separate from other goods to avoid the risk of cross-contamination. Then incoming goods should be physically and electronically separated from goods awaiting distribution until approved by the responsible person. Then a segregated area must be provided for the holding and storage of returned and rejected goods prior to a decision for further action. Hope you know about what are returned and rejected goods. Then a segregated area must be provided for the storage of controlled drugs. Then for customer orders, assembly also should be separated and designed area. The second part is security of warehouse. The storage areas should be provided with security to prevent theft or unauthorized entry. The security should maintain a control of who may enter the facilities. And the security also establish a system for controlling access to the facility, including all entrances and exits. The third part of the warehouse is temperature and humidity control. All drug products must be stored at appropriate conditions as stated on the label of the product. The temperature of all storage areas should be regularly monitored. Controlled temperature storage areas should be equipped with recorders and devices which indicate when the specific temperature range has not been maintained. A written procedure must specify the action to be taken when this occurs. Control should be adequate to ensure that all parts of the storage area are kept within the specified temperature range. Should always be a backup system in case main system fails. The humidity of all storage areas should be regularly monitored using recorders and devices which document the humidity measures. If the product requires a specific humidity, a written procedure must specify the action to be taken when the specified humidity range has not been maintained. Establish a normal operating baseline of humidity if no specific value is required. Records of temperature and humidity in all storage areas should be reviewed and retained by a designated responsible person. Then the fourth part is equipment for a warehouse. There should be a planned preventative maintenance program in place. Recording and control equipment should be calibrated and checked at definite time intervals and define time intervals by appropriate methods. Alarm set points should be checked on periodic intervals. A computerized system used for stock control or distribution should be validated. So what are the points for equipment? There should be a planned preventative maintenance program in place. Recording and control equipment should be calibrated and checked at defined intervals by appropriate methods. Then alarm set points should be checked on periodic intervals. A computerized system used for stock control and distribution should be validated. Let's move on to the fifth part of warehouse, that is personnel. The organization chart should be in place. There should be a sufficient number of staff. There should be clearly defined job description in warehouse. Personnel should be trained in relation to good storage and good distribution practice and to the duties assigned to them. The current records of training should be in place. The trainers should have established an approved qualification. So with this we are finishing today's class. In the next class we will be discussing remaining part of warehousing practices. Okay, thank you all for patient listening.